More than 1.2 million Asian Americans call New York home, and for the last year and a half, the city has not felt safe for many in the community. The NYPD says it's investigated 86 anti-Asian hate crimes so far this year. That is more than 4 times what was reported last year. So today does mark the end of the Asian American Pacific Islander Awareness Month, and this morning I'm joined by author and activist Cece Leung. Good morning, Cece. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Betty. Good morning.
This is a very important topic as we close out Asian American month here. And I got to tell you, the latest that we're looking at, it still continues the violence against Asian Americans because a 75-year-old Asian woman in Queens is recovering following one of the latest random attacks last week. This one happened in Corona, Queens in broad daylight. Cece, does the city need to develop a better strategy to address these incidents?
Yeah, the city definitely needs to set this as a top priority on their agenda because, as we all know, if it's not a priority, nothing ever gets done. And they also need to allocate enough funding and resources to train people properly to investigate these crimes because I think public awareness is super important because a lot of these hate crimes are not reported and many people have language barrier and also for survivors and bystanders they're mostly afraid. They don't have any tools or don't really know how to interrupt or report these crimes. But I would say the most important thing is really to bring awareness and education to prevent these crimes from happening at the first place.
And that's really hard too, especially when the victims and their family members are just simply too afraid to tell their story. So without that story, it just becomes yet another incident and you don't have that connection, which I think is very important for us to understand just the depths of this. You know, Asians make up nearly 12% of the population in New York City. Asian communities relying on volunteer security patrols and safe walks to prevent these attacks. Do you believe that's enough here? And also I want to talk to you about the mental health issue with this as well, because it kind of goes hand in hand to some extent.
Yeah, I think the common thread that we see among these attacks is driven by mental health. While each case are different and can be very complicated, but there is a clear distinction between what is a crime and what is a hate crime. It's whether an attack is motivated by bias against a race, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. For example, if we see 6 Asian women have been murdered, we need to call it exactly what it is, a hate crime, and not trying to justify with any other reasons.
Yeah, you're talking about the incident in Atlanta where the 6 women were killed, and then we saw some of those officials there saying, "Hey, the guy just had a bad day." That's just something a lot of people have spoken out against, that you just cannot get away with that. Let's talk about this. Actor Danny Glover attended a rally in Chinatown last Thursday. Other stars using their platform to raise awareness about anti-Asian hate crimes. Is it time to start seeing more people stand up, people outside of the Asian American community, to say, you know what, I'm an ally and we're going to learn from these other movements and help you combat this violence?
Yeah, it's very encouraging. Like the reason I'm smiling because it's so encouraging to see people use their influence and platform to bring awareness and spark change for the better. And I'm so grateful to see many of our allies to come out and stand with us. And I'm even more encouraged to see Asians come out and speak up. For example, Lucy Liu, Daniel Day Kim, Olivia Munn, and so many more. It's important for them to come out because they have gone through this experience and they understand exactly what we're going through now as a community.
Cece, let's talk about the community because a lot of times when you talk about Asian Americans, it's just this big one monolith. That's not what we are. We come from different cultures. We have many different countries that we come from as well. So how do you bring that together? Because I think a lot of times we're fractioned, right? And then we're thinking, well, that's not in my community. I'm within this particular segment of the community. How do we get past that and own the power in coming together?
I think right now, I think we've been doing it, especially for the past couple of months or the past year. We just need to bring awareness to talk about it, keep this conversation going. Otherwise, sometimes people just feel like an outsider, even amongst your own people. So I think that's probably the important thing.
You know, a major development that occurred during AAPI Awareness Month was the passage of the anti-Asian hate crime bill, which was signed into law by President Biden. What else would you like to see in regards to raising awareness and combating this violence?
I think everyone, not just Asians, we all need to do our part. And as an individual, to, like I said so many times, integrate these conversations into, like, actions and attitudes into our daily lives. And as a community, we need to continue to be more vocal and
Mm.
stand with each other and stand with our ally as well. It's kind of like any kind of hate or crime. If you see something, you need to do or say something. And if we have each other's back, we rise up together strong.
Yeah. All right, Cece, thank you for joining us today. We do appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Betty.